In our discussion, we decided to pursue the Asian perspective of interracial relationships. In the mainstream media, we tend to see perspectives of many other groups, but it seems that the Asian perspective has been left out. Initially, it was quite difficult to find someone to talk about their experiences, as Asian cultures tend to be withdrawn and private. It's not just in their culture to be as open as Americans tend to be. One of the interviewers explained that he was a very private person, but his significant other, who wasn't an American, was a very outspoken person and not so private. People succumb to the stereotypes about people of Asian descent rather quickly. They tend to believe that they are automatically brighter than the rest of the class, excel at math, or have extremely strict parents with very unreasonable expectations. As these stereotypes are prevalent, some are true, while others have definitely been debunked. But as with all other stereotypes about a selected group, every individual is different and may or may not play into the stereotype that society has set upon them. The interviewees may be in various interracial relationships, but their ties to their home culture still ring true in their unions. Partners come to appreciate stories about a completely different culture as it seems as if they're talking about another world. Yeah, and he loves a story. And when I tell him sometimes about my country and what type of the world, he's learning something from me too. And sometimes he just surprised when he realizes that something like that can happen. A good amount of our interviewees are here in the United States for educational reasons. So in some cases, it is equally as important that their partner is educated so that their future together can be assured. This quote by one of our participants would support this statement. My mother was worried about me dating outside my race first. I guess she thought the idea of it was I would lose focus on school and my future. One interviewer mentioned that her family was open to her marrying an American. The full American experience would definitely include a family with the one you love, and that would involve compromises and sacrifices. The compromises we deal with are PDA. Anna loves public display of affection, and I don't as much as she does. I do it to make her happy because I love her and would do anything for her. Asians aren't exactly known for their dominance either, especially in our culture. We're known as hot-blooded Americans, and Asians here are normally known for their patience in handling everything with control and regards for rules and regulations. The things we disagree on is dominance in our relationship. I'm very chill and laid back, and she is very dominant. But when I do take control, sometimes she gets a little offended. I just look over it. There is a mixed bag of emotions when it comes to the extended family's views on interracial dating. Sometimes there are families which support these unions and others that are more reluctant. This first participant's quote supports the latter part of my statement. I would say that in my country, people have a lot of bias. Like in the earlier times, right now we don't. But in the time my mom married my dad might say, "Oh, you married a Korean guy. Why did you do that?" And his parents might say, "Oh, you married a Russian woman. She has different traditions." While the second statement supports the first part of my original statement. They didn't find a problem with it, and my family accepted her, and her family accepted me. Our families got along good. My parents always say, "It's your decision, and whatever you want to do with your life, you can, but find a very smart girl." When it comes down to it, we are all human beings, and the Asian perspective on interracial dating doesn't seem to be the race as much as it is for their partner to really bring something to the table. Times are changing and people's mindsets are becoming more open-minded when it comes to interracial dating from the Asian perspective. Sacrifice is also important when it comes to dating outside your race as well. The question, what would you give up to be with the one you love, is a very relevant question to ask in this type of situation. Overall, thank you all for your time in watching and listening to our story.